Welcome, guys. Welcome into the morning Bible. This morning's Bible study. Um, it is Tuesday, December 12th of 2023, and I want to say a very special welcome to those of you who have decided to stop by, and to those of you who are returning travelers. I want to say thank you for your continued support. Now, I know I told you all that I was going to reread Jeremiah. Well, yes, I am rereading the book of Jeremiah on my own because I know that I have been very critical of the man because of what I have read about him in the book of Jeremiah. And as one faithful listener said to me, Trev, what if you are wrong? And I am not I am not opposed to the idea that there is a possibility that I could be wrong. Hey, Marielle, how are you doing, my love? Good morning. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you're having a great morning so far, or afternoon, depending on where you are at. I'm sorry about that, guys. But this morning, I am going to be moving on to the book of Lamentation. Now, many of you may not know, but Jeremiah has been referred to as the crying prophet. And some people ask, why is he called the crying prophet? And I say, oh, I don't know. But maybe after I have read the Lamentations, which was also written by Jeremiah, I will discover why he was called the lying prophet. Not lying. That might be true. But the crying prophet is what I meant to say, not the lying prophet. I know you all know how I feel about Jeremiah and the veracity of the things that he claimed to have prophesied based on the outcomes and based on how he was treated by Nebuchadnezzar after he claimed to have prophesied all that he had prophesied against the Jewish people. You all know how I feel about that. But putting that aside and moving forward, we are going to continue the conversation. We are going to continue with the reading. We are going to continue with the reading of the Bible as we have been doing for the last 2 years about this time of the morning. We are going to continue, and I am going to continue reading the book of Jeremiah again and again because I want to be sure when I say I'm done reading the book of Jeremiah that I am positive. I stand on what I have discerned from the reading about Jeremiah. I'm making nothing up. I am reading it straight out of the good book. And so that's where the information that I have is coming from. It's not coming out of my tail. It's not coming out of my, just coming out of the wind that rolls around my head. It is coming out of the Bible. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear when I read some of the things in the Bible because they don't want to face the reality that some of the content of the Bible, they had no idea was in it, and they don't want anything to contradict their belief that is already solidified with them. And that is not my intention. Just to make it clear, I do not intend to reshape anybody's belief. All I am doing is sharing with y'all what I have discovered, not just out of my mind, but from the good book. All right? So without further ado, my friends, we are going to move right along. And don't forget, guys, that I'm on my way to 10,000. Please help me out. Please help me out. We are going to get there. But y'all know I can't do nothing by myself. I can't get there on my own. I need y'all. Okay? So, with that, let us move right along. We are going to read the book of Lamentations. So, get your book of Lamentation, people. Get your book Bible or your Google Bible and come on with me. Come along with me. Let us read together. So I can make notes and you can make notes. Okay? All right. My internet might be acting up, but oh well, there's really nothing I can do about it, guys. I can't do anything about it. Well, welcome into the live, guys. Thank you all so much for coming. I sincerely appreciate you. For those of you who are just discovering my channel, every morning we we gather here as we try to read the Bible for ourselves from beginning to end. If you are just joining us, you're kind of a little bit late, not too late, but you are several books late because we started at the book of Genesis and we are going to be starting this morning the book of Lamentations. We completed the book of Jeremiah a few days ago, and I told you all I was going to reread Jeremiah. Yes, I will. I'm going to read the book of Jeremiah again because, some people have said, Trev, check yourself and see if maybe you are wrong with your views on Jeremiah. I don't think I am wrong, but I am always open to inviting new conversation. I am not opposed to having an educated conversation with somebody, particularly pertaining to the Bible. We can read it together, we can talk about it together, and we can get the information we need out of the Bible. I don't want anybody pulling nothing out of their tail and coming to tell me that this is what they believe. We're not going by beliefs, people. We are going by what the Bible says, because if it's not in the Bible, I'm not going to entertain the conversation about it. If you are coming to challenge me about what I am reading in the Bible, because that is the whole purpose of me reading the Bible, is to understand it for myself, because all my life I have been told what is in the Bible. All my life I have been told. I read the Bible in my teenage years, and that time I read the Bible just because I like to read. I didn't read it with as much purpose as I am reading it now. Okay? I've learned a lot since then. I have a lot more knowledge, and so I'm reading the Bible more purposefully, if you know what I mean. Right? All right, guys. So get on a book Bible or Google Bible and come along with me. Let us read the book of Lamentation. Before we do that, though, if you are new here, guys, a very, very special welcome to you. If you are just discovering my channel, welcome. Thank you so much. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, now is a good time to do so. And to all my returning travelers, I want to say thank you for your continued support. All right, let me see who is over here. Clyde, welcome. Welcome to everybody over there on the top and everybody here on the tube. Welcome. Thank you all so much for joining me. We are on to the book of Lamentations. Lamentations is another book that was written also by Jeremiah. This morning we're going to read Lamentations chapters 1 through 3. The Lamentations of Jeremiah. No, the cryings of Jeremiah. Remember, Jeremiah was called the crying prophet. What he was crying about, I do not know. And before I go any further, guys, let me do my usual preface. We do not endorse any particular religion or denomination on my channel. And why I make this statement is because I don't want to offend anybody, even though people are offended. Even when you're not trying to offend them, people seek offense in everything. But anyway, I am not trying to offend anybody because I don't like fights and arguments and quarrels. I don't roll like that. But when it comes on to me reading the Bible, I am not going to corrupt my thoughts of reading the Bible by shadowing it, overshadowing my thoughts with the endorsement of any particular religion or denomination. That would not be wise. Okay? So I'm just reading the Bible as a clear slate, as a blank slate. I have come to read it so that we together, we can understand it for ourselves, understand what's written and get the context of what is written in the Bible. So let us move on. The Lamentations of Jeremiah. How doth the city sit solitary that was full of people? How is she become as a widow? She that was great among the nations, and princes and princess among the provinces, how is she become a tributary? That's a great question. It's how has Israel become? That's really the question. How did Israel become so desolate? How did she appear now as a widow? They're referring to Israel and referring to her, personifying her as a woman. How did she become as a widow? Did she become so desolate? And my question is, how is Jeremiah asking that question when he was a contributing factor to it? Anyway, let us continue. She weeps sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she hath none to comfort her. All her friends hath dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies. Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction, and because of great servitude. She dwelleth among the heathen. She findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. Now this is Jeremiah saying this about Israel. The amazing M&G is here. Welcome, my dear sister. How are you doing? Good to see you, my darling. Happy Tuesday morning to you, my love. Well, here is Jeremiah saying that Israel is now desolate, destitute. She's like a widow. All of her princes and princesses, all the people are gone into servitude. Certainly, they're gone to Babylon. Certainly, Nebuchadnezzar has overpowered them, overthrown them, destroyed the city, knocked down the walls, and taken the people into captivity, into Babylon. But Jeremiah is talking about it in the Lamentations. And so Jeremiah continues and he says, the ways of Zion do mourn, because none come to the solemn feasts. All her gates are desolate. Her priests sigh. Her virgins are afflicted, and she is in bitterness. Yes, she is. At this point in the story, Israel is in bitterness. Israel is afflicted. Israel is like a widow. Israel is destroyed, basically. The temples are broken down. The walls of Jerusalem are broken. The people are taken in. Yes, certainly. Certainly. She is in bitterness. You are very welcome, the amazing M&G. You are very welcome, my love. I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much for your kind words. I appreciate you, my love. Verse 5 says, her adversaries are the chief. Her enemies prosper, for the Lord that afflicted her, for the multitude of her transgressions. Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy. And from the daughter of Zion, all her beauty is departed. Her princes are become like harts that find no pasture. And they are gone without strength before the pursuer. Verse 7. Jerusalem remembered in the days of her affliction and of her miseries all her pleasant things that she had in the days of old, when her people fell into the hand of the enemy, and none did help her. The adversaries saw her and did mock at her Sabbaths. And did mock at her Sabbaths. Of course, yes. Because guess what? Because guess what? The heathen that they're speaking of are the Babylonians. The Babylonians were not among the children of Israel. They were not given the Sabbath as their day of worship. And that is why when we read Jeremiah chapter 52, and Jeremiah said God told him that he was going to punish Nebuchadnezzar for not obeying his word, I found that very strange. Because remember now, Nebuchadnezzar was not among the children of Israel. He was not given the rules and the laws that Moses laid down for the children of Israel. So what law exactly was he breaking? What Jewish law was he breaking when he wasn't even a Jew? That right there has puzzled me. If anybody who is listening is able to help me with that puzzle, I'd appreciate it, because that is indeed a puzzle. Because right now, I wasn't raised, I'm just going to say Muslim for argument's sake. So how would the Muslim God punish me for not doing what the Muslims do per their faith? Does that make any sense to you guys? It doesn't. But we're going to continue reading, because sometimes the Bible does give us clarification and other times it does not. But welcome Marlene, Malcolm McCoy, Yerdula, welcome. Everall, welcome. Joseph, bless up yourself. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming, guys. I sincerely appreciate you. Thanks for the loves, thanks for the likes, and thanks for the follows. I appreciate you guys. Let us continue. We're going to read verse 7 again. Jerusalem remembered in the days of her affliction and of her miseries all her pleasant things that she had in the days of old, when her people fell into the hand of the enemy, and none did help her. The adversaries saw her and did mock at her Sabbaths. Jerusalem hath grievously sinned, therefore she is removed. All that honored her despise her, because they have seen her nakedness. Yea, she sigheth and turneth backwards. Her filthiness is in her skirts. She remembereth not her last end. Therefore she came down wonderfully. She had no comforter. O Lord, behold my affliction, for the enemy hath magnified himself. This is Jeremiah writing. Now, does Jeremiah have a reason to be so cold towards Israel? Yes. Jeremiah has a reason to be this cold and seems to be, I don't know if I should say rejoicing at the downfall of Jerusalem. Seems to me that he is. Why is Jeremiah so delighted at the destruction of Jerusalem? And I say delighted because that's what I mean. That's what I meant to say. Jeremiah seems delighted. Why would Jeremiah be delighted, but acting as though he's not? Trying to make it seem as though, oh, he's just speaking the facts. He's trying to make it seem as though, oh, the enemy has come and destroyed Jerusalem, destroyed Israel, but they deserved it because of their filthiness. He's saying that. And to me, that seems like he's delighted. Oh yeah, they deserve it. He's a Jew too, you know. But he's saying they deserved it because of their filthiness. Why would Jeremiah feel that way? I'm going to tell you why I believe Jeremiah feel that way. Jeremiah feel that way because of his relationship with Nebuchadnezzar. Jeremiah dare not say anything to upset Nebuchadnezzar, because if he does, he's going to face the wrath of Nebuchadnezzar. Jeremiah this whole time has been speaking for the enemy. He has been speaking for Nebuchadnezzar. Everything he has said has been on Nebuchadnezzar's behalf. And that is why when Nebuchadnezzar came up and destroyed Jerusalem, broke down the walls and slew all the princes and princesses and all the noblemen and all the prophets and all the priests and everybody, the one prophet he left alive was Jeremiah. And not only did he just leave Jeremiah alive, he told the new governor that he had appointed, Gedaliah was his name. Nebuchadnezzar told Gedaliah, protect Jeremiah at all costs. Let nothing bad happen to Jeremiah. Give Jeremiah whatever land Jeremiah wants. Give it to him. The king, Nebuchadnezzar, gave Jeremiah all kinds of presents. Now, tell me, what would make Nebuchadnezzar feel obligated to giving Jeremiah presents, to being so nice to Jeremiah? When Jeremiah, a Benjaminite, was, if he claimed to have been just a just a prophet that had no ulterior motives, why was he so favored by Nebuchadnezzar? Think about it. I always look for the hidden message, After what happened to me in my life, I learned to look for the hidden messages. I look for what was not said. Because oftentimes what was not said speaks louder than what was actually said. Okay? So let us move on right along. He says that the adversaries, that's the Babylonians, did mock her Sabbaths. Verse 8 says, Jeremiah hath grievously sinned. Jerusalem. I really meant to say Jeremiah because he did. But anyway, we're reading what the Bible says. Verse 8 says, Jerusalem hath grievously sinned, therefore she is removed. All that honored her despise her, because they have seen her nakedness. Yea, she sighs and turns backwards. Her filthiness is in her skirts. She remembereth not her last end. Therefore she came down wonderfully. She had no comforter. O Lord, behold my affliction, for the enemy hath magnified himself. The adversary hath spread out his hand upon all her pleasant things, for she hath seen that the heathen entered into her sanctuary, whom thou didst command that they should not enter into thy congregation. All her people sigh. They seek bread. They have given their pleasant things for meat to relieve the soul. See, O Lord, and consider, for I am become vile. Verse 12. Is it nothing to you, all ye that pass by? Behold, and see if there be any sorrow like unto my sorrow, which is done unto me, wherewith the Lord hath afflicted me in the day of his fierce anger. From above hath he sent fire into my bones, and it prevaileth against them. He hath spread a net for my feet. He hath turned me back. He hath made me desolate and faint all the day. The yoke of my transgressions is bound by his hand. They are wreathed and come up upon my neck. He hath made my strength to fall. The Lord hath delivered me into their hands, from whom I am not able to rise up. The Lord hath trodden under foot all my mighty men in the midst of me. He hath called an assembly against me, to crush my young men. The Lord hath trodden the virgin, the daughter of Judah, as in a winepress. Verse 16. For these things I weep, my eye runneth down with water, because the Comforter that should relieve my soul is far from me. My children are desolate, because the enemy prevails. Verse 17. Zion spreads forth her hands, and there is none to comfort her. The Lord hath commanded concerning Jacob, that his adversaries should be round about him. Jerusalem is as a menstruous woman among them. The Lord is righteous, for I have rebelled against his commandment. Hear, I pray you, all people, and behold my sorrow. My virgins and my young men are gone into captivity. I called for my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and my elders gave up the ghost in the city, while they sought their meat to relieve their souls. Behold, O Lord, for I am in distress. My bowels are troubled. My heart is turned within me, for I have grievously rebelled. Abroad the sword bereaves, at home there is as death. They have heard that I sigh, there is none to comfort me. All mine enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that thou hast done it. Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto me. Verse 22, and this is the last verse of chapter 1 of the Lamentations. Let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me, for all my transgressions, for my sighs are many, and my heart is faint. Now here, this is Jeremiah writing as though he's speaking on behalf of Israel. He's speaking as though this is Israel speaking to their God, saying to their God, the enemy has destroyed us because of my transgression. The enemy has destroyed me. And so he's talking to God. He says, let all their wickedness come before thee. He's speaking to God to say, take care of me, please. Take care of my enemies for me, please. Let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me for all my transgressions. For my sighs are many, and my heart is faint. Now this is Jeremiah writing and speaking as though it is Israel speaking to their God. Just let's make that clear. We are going to move on to chapter 2. Jeremiah is crying for Israel, you know. The same Jeremiah who claimed to have prophesied that Israel was going to be destroyed. The same Jeremiah who got all these favors from the enemy, Nebuchadnezzar, is now coming back and lamenting the misery of Israel. Now you all see why I say, and I stand by what I say, that Jeremiah a cut both sides, like a back and front cutlass. Jeremiah a cut both sides. Let us continue. Chapter 2. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in her anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not her footstools in the day of her anger? The Lord hath swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob, and hath not pitied them. He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughters of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. He hath cut off in his fierce anger all the horns of Israel. He has drawn back his right hand from before the enemy, and he burnt against Jacob like a flaming fire, which devours round about. And you hear the amount of anger that has been poured out upon Israel. The Lord was as an enemy. Hey, the Lord was as an enemy. He had swallowed up Israel. He had swallowed up all her palaces. He had destroyed her strongholds, and that increased in the daughter of Judah mourning and lamentation. And he had violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He hath destroyed his places of the assembly. The Lord hath caused the solemn feasts and Sabbaths to be forgotten in Zion, and hath despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priests. The Lord hath cast off his altar. He hath hated his sanctuary. He hath given up into the hand of the enemy the walls of her palaces. They have made a noise in the house of the Lord, as in the day of a solemn feast. The Lord hath purposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He hath stretched out a line. He hath not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore he made the rampart and the walls to lament. They languish together. Verse 9. Her gates are sunk into the ground. He hath destroyed and broken her bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. The law is no more. This Jeremiah, you see, just Jeremiah is something else. The law is no more. Her prophets also find no vision from the Lord. The elders of the daughter of Zion sit upon the ground and keep silent. They have cast up dust upon their heads. They have girded themselves with sackcloth. The virgins of Jerusalem hang down their heads to the ground. Mine eyes do fall with tears. My bowels are troubled. My liver is poured upon the earth for the destruction of the daughter of my people, because the children and the sucklings swoon in the streets of the city. They say to their mothers, where is corn and wine? When they swoon as the wounded in the streets of the city, when their soul was poured out into their mother's bosom. What thing shall I take to witness for thee? What thing shall I liken to thee, O daughter of Jerusalem? What shall I equal to thee, that I may comfort thee, O virgin daughter of Zion? For thy breach is great like the sea. Who can heal thee? Thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity, to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughters of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? Yeah, boy. You all hear that? So here Jeremiah is saying that the enemies, when they pass by Jerusalem, they shake their heads, they hiss, they look at her and say, look at that. Is this the city of beauty? The city of perfection? Is this supposed to be the place where it is said there's going to be the joy of the whole earth? Ha 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 ha. Look at that. These are the people who claim to be the chosen people, the people who claim that their God, who is the God who made heaven and earth, is going to make them to have abundance. It's going to make them to rule over the earth. It's going to make them to be the ones everybody's going to bow down to. They are the ones who are going to get all his blessings. They are going to be the recipients of all his blessings and all his mercies. and everybody's going to respect them as such. And then now look at what their same God has done to them. Don't you see what they call the Eden? Don't you see they have reasons for the mockery? Don't you think, guys? I think they have reasons for the mockery, because it is quite strange. It is quite odd that a people who is considered, hey Joyce, what's up? How are you doing, my friends? How are you doing? Boss doing, what's up? It is strange that a people who is considered so highly in the spiritual realm, as it was being taught, that their God could turn around and be so destructive to them. So the heathen is like they have no reason to even desire to follow this God. See if y'all get where I'm going with this. The heathen amongst the Babylonians, they don't see any reason to follow this God, because if this is the God of Israel, and this is how their God has destroyed them, what would he do to us? What is presented to me right here does not provide me with any incentive. If I was living in that time, and I was a Jewish person, and I see how this Jewish God has destroyed the Jews, I would want to run to Babylon too. I would want to run, because I would be scared to death. So here the Bible is saying, the heathen, they come about and they clap their hands, they hiss and they wag their heads. So look at this, and this and them people here are God's chosen people, and these people are the ones who are supposed to rule the earth according to them. The Jews have become a mockery. Yeah, the Jews have become a mockery to the people around them. But let us continue with the reading. Let us hold on, the people who this. Hold on then. Oh, people don't know that when they send me these things, they send them to my phone. I don't do those pass on messages, And I don't care when people say, if you don't pass this on, you're going to get bad luck in 3 days. Let me get the bad luck. What think people should learn by now about me? Don't send me no message and tell me pass it on to 10 people so you can get good luck. But I will take the bad luck. I'm passing on nothing to no 10 people, telling them no nonsense. Let me continue reading the Bible. Let us continue, my friends. Join Tiger and Love Pink, what's up? What everybody doing? Bless up on yourself. Bless up on yourself. Let us continue reading. Verse 16 says, all thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we look for. We have found, we have seen it. The Lord hath done that which he has devised. He hath fulfilled his word that he hath commanded in the days of old. He hath thrown down and hath not pitied, and he hath caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee. He has set up the horn of thine adversaries. Their heart cried unto the Lord. O wall of the daughter of Zion, let tears run down like a river day and night. Give thyself no rest. Let not the apple of thine eye cease. Arise, cry out in the night, in the beginning of the watches. Pour out thy heart like water before the face of the Lord. Lift up thy hands towards him for the life of thy young children, that faint for hunger in the top of every street. Let us continue. Behold, O Lord, and consider to whom thou hast done this. Shall the women eat their fruit, and children of a span long? Shall the priests and the prophets be slain in the sanctuary of the Lord? The young and the old lie on the ground in the streets. My virgins and my young men are fallen by the sword. Thou hast slain them in the day of their anger. Thou hast killed and not pitied. Thou hast called as in the solemn day my terrors round about, so that in the day of the Lord's anger none escaped nor remained. Those that I have swaddled and brought up at mine enemy consumed. So here, Kim, what's up? Hey, Gladstone. DJ Kapoor, what's up? So here, Jeremiah is lamenting the current plight of the Jewish people. Is Jeremiah lamenting genuinely, or is Jeremiah lamenting because he wants it to appear as though he is really grieving for the Jewish people? To me, I didn't see Jeremiah do anything that was in the best interest of the Jewish people. To me, Jeremiah appears to be some old mendicant just trying to get a come up in those days. And one way for you to get a come up in those days is to declare yourself a prophet and to start saying that the Lord tell you this, the Lord tell you that, in a dream or by the river or him carry out in the wilderness or something like that. And Jeremiah to me appears to be one of those people. Fitzroy, bless up yourself. We're going to continue. We are reading chapter 3 as well. Lamentations chapter 3. And why I refer to Jeremiah, guys, is because Jeremiah is the author of the Lamentations. I am the man that has seen affliction by the rod of his wrath. You hear that? Jeremiah said, I am the man that hath seen affliction by the rod of his wrath. He hath led me and brought me into darkness, but not into light. Surely against me is he turned. He turns his hand against me all the day. My flesh and my skin hath he made old. He hath broken my bones. He hath built against me, and compassed me with gall and travail. He hath set me in dark places, as they that be dead of old. He hath edged me about, that I cannot get out. He hath made my chain heavy. Also, when I cry and shout, he shuts out my prayer. He hath enclosed my ways with hewn stones. He hath made my paths crooked. He was unto me as a bear lying in wait, and as a lion in secret places. That's interesting. That the same Jeremiah who had said the Lord told him all these things that was going to happen to the Jewish people is now saying that the Lord is plotting against him. The Lord is laying in wait for him like a bear in the shadows, like a lion waiting for its prey. Verse 11. He hath turned aside my ways and pulled me in pieces He hath made me desolate. Why is that so, Jeremiah? Why would the Lord turn against you, of all people? You claim that he has been using all this time to warn the Jewish people. And you are so great, you have been telling them only what the Lord has told you. You have not done anything wrong. If anything, you have been the only faithful among the Jewish people. Why now is the Lord turned against you? That is my question. What have you done? What have you done? Why he has suddenly turned against you? Verse 11, he hath turned aside my ways and pulled me in pieces. He hath made me desolate. He hath bent his bow and set me as a mark for the arrow. Why is that so, Jeremiah? Let us continue reading, my friends. Aha. Verse 13 says, he hath caused the arrows of his quiver to enter into my reins. I was a derision to all my people, and their song all day. Oh, hold on there, people. Hold on there. Hold on. I didn't even see that. Oh my. Hold on there, my friends. Hold on. This is not okay right here. Give me a second there, guys. Give me a second. Let me just something. Let me just send this. There are some things that just can't wait. I just have to. Oh my God. There are some things I just have to take care of when they come about. Hold on a second for me, guys. Let me get this here together. Oh my word. Give me two seconds here, guys. Okay. All right, back to the Bible. Let us continue. Verse 13. He hath caused the arrows of his quiver to enter into my reins. I was a derision to all my people, and their song all the day. So Jeremiah said, all right, I was a mockery to all the people. Yeah, they did mock me. I was a mockery to all of them. He hath filled me with bitterness. He hath made me drunken with wormwood. He hath also broken my teeth with gravel stones. He hath covered me with ashes. And thou hast removed my soul far off from peace. I forgot prosperity. And I said, my strength and my hope is perished from the Lord. Remembering my affliction and my misery, the wormwood and the gall, my soul hath them still in remembrance, and is humbled in me. This I recall to my mind, therefore have I hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him. The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. He sitteth alone and keepeth silent, because he hath borne it upon him. He puts his mouth in the dust. If so be there may ye hope. He giveth his cheek to him that smiteth him. He is filled full with reproach. For the Lord will not cast off forever. Sister Winsome, how are you doing? Good morning. Bless up yourself. Welcome. Welcome, Deborah. Anthony, welcome. Let us continue reading. But though he cause grief, yet shall he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. For he doth not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men, to crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth, to turn aside the right of a man before the face of the Most High, to subvert a man in his cause, the Lord approves not. Who is he that said, and it cometh to pass, when the Lord commanded it not? Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good? Yes, of course, yes. Roderick, what's up? Hey, Larry. Out of the mouth of the Lord proceedeth evil and good. Wherefore doth a living man complain, a man for the punishment of his sins? Let us search and try our ways, and turn again to the Lord. Let us lift up our hearts with our hands unto God in heaven. We have transgressed and have rebelled. Thou hast not pardoned. Thou hast covered with anger and persecuted us. Thou hast slain. Thou hast not pitied. No, me no know. Samantha, what's up? I am on Lamentations chapter 3, Sister Wilson. Lamentations chapter 3. And here Jeremiah is lamenting the plight of the Jewish people. He is lamenting what is going on. And he seems as though he's also presenting himself to the Lord for chastisement. It seems as though he is acknowledging his role in the destruction of Israel. It seems as though, and he's justifying it by saying, well, doesn't good and evil come out of the Lord's mouth? Oh, well, I'm not the only one. Good and evil comes out of the Lord's mouth. So, well, I'm not going to blame myself for my contribution. I'm not going to blame myself. He's not talking about what he has done with Nebuchadnezzar, his contribution to the destruction of the Jewish people. He's not taking accountability. What Jeremiah is saying, as far as I understand it, is, oh well, if out of your Lord's mouth can come good and evil, what can I say as an ordinary man? Of course, yes, good and evil can come out of my mouth too. Your God did not pity you. So, what am I supposed to say? I'm going to read Jeremiah chapters 3 and verse 30. I'm going to go back to 33. For he doth not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men, to crush under his feet all the prisoners of the earth, to turn aside the right of a man before the face of the Most High, to subvert a man in his cause. The Lord approves not. Who is he that saith, and it cometh to pass, when the Lord commanded it not? Who is he that said, and it cometh to pass, when the Lord commanded it not? Who is he, guys? Who is he? This is Jeremiah saying, who is he that said, and it cometh to pass, when the Lord commanded it not? Jeremiah. Because Jeremiah said, it shall come to pass that Jerusalem, Israel, shall be destroyed by the Babylonians. Jeremiah said God told him so, that Nebuchadnezzar was going to come up and destroy Jerusalem. Now you're in chapter 3 of the Lamentations, when he's grieving his contribution to the destruction of Israel. He says in chapter 3 and verse 37, Who is he that saith, and it comes to pass when the Lord commanded it not? Out of the mouth of the Most High proceeded not evil and good? Wherefore doth a living man complain, a man for the punishment of his sins? Remember I'm saying, the Lord have his bows against him. Remember he says, the Lord is angry at him. The Lord is filled with bitterness against him. Why would the Lord suddenly be filled with bitterness against Jeremiah, who, if you listen to any modern day pastor, they will say that Jeremiah was such a great prophet. Jeremiah here is crying like the Lord is going to smite him with a bow. The Lord is angry at him. Why? Ask yourself the question, why would the Lord be angry at Jeremiah all on a sudden? How is my dear Jappy Sports Talk is in the place? How are you? Winsome, we don't read Jeremiah already. We read the book of Jeremiah all the way up to the end, chapter 52. Yes, ma'am. Where were you when we read the last of Jeremiah? I don't know where you was, Mr. Winsome. But we read Jeremiah already. All of it. We are now reading the book of Lamentations, where Jeremiah is crying. He said God has now turned his back on him. God is now has his arrow set on him. Yes, it's like a target is on his head right now. And my question is, why would God suddenly just turn his back on Jeremiah? Black Princess, why would he suddenly turn his back on Jeremiah? This makes me, Mr. Love, what's up? That makes me feel as though my conclusion before was right about Jeremiah being a back and front cutlass, Jeremiah cutting both ways, Jeremiah, who is a Jew, pretending to be for the Jews and claiming that God tell him this and God tell him that about what's going to happen to the Jews, when in fact it was Jeremiah undercover plotting with the Babylonians to come destroy his own people so he could get some clout. To say, see it? See, guys, I prophesied it. And there it happened. It's like a narcissist. They claim that them dream something or them prophesy something going to happen. And then underneath the quiet, they are making sure it happens so that they can get some clout. So this is exactly what I see going on here. And then now, Jeremiah is saying that the Lord has a target on him. The Lord is coming after him. For whatever reason. Let us continue. Who is he that saith, it is cometh to pass, when the Lord commanded it not? Out of the mouth of the Most High proceeded not evil and good? Wherefore doth a living man complain, a man of the punishment of his sins? Yeah, that's Jeremiah for you. Why me I go complain? I don't need to complain even though God is after me. I don't need to complain because I am a man. It's the punishment for my sins. Of course, yes, Winsome. Of course, yes. I believe so too. That what Jeremiah said the Lord told him was a lie. The Lord ain't tell Jeremiah nothing. So let us continue. Verse 40 says, let us search and try our ways and turn again to the Lord. Let us lift up our hearts with our hands unto God in the heavens. We have transgressed and have rebelled. Thou hast not pardoned. Thou hast covered with anger and persecuted us. Thou hast slain and thou hast not pitied. They got no pity. They got no mercy from their God. It was straight up slaughter after slaughter after slaughter after slaughter. Thou hast covered thyself with a cloud, that our prayers should not pass through. You hear that? Jeremiah said this, Say God cover himself with a cloud so that the prayer of the Jews is not passing through to him. Because can you imagine how much praying the Jewish people had prayed and begged God to save them from Nebuchadnezzar? And Nebuchadnezzar was still able to come up and destroy them. So here Jeremiah is saying, see there, God cover himself with a cloud so that our prayer not pass through, so that our prayers don't get to him. He's not hearing our prayers. Thou hast made us as the offscouring and refuse in the midst of the people. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us. Fear and a snare is come upon us, desolation and the destruction. But in the area, now Jeremiah is talking like a Jew. But why isn't Jeremiah talking about the victuals and presents and land when Nebuchadnezzar give him? Because the other people are suffering. But Jeremiah has come up from being a mendicant to being set right now. Now we have land. Now we have land. Good land too, because remember, when Nebuchadnezzar came up and destroyed Jerusalem, he told the governor that he had appointed, whose name was Gedaliah, tell him, give Jeremiah anything Jeremiah wants. The best piece of land that Jeremiah wants to live on, give it to him. So right at this point, Jeremiah started living pretty. Aye, Molly. Hey, Jesus in the house, bless up yourself. Bless up yourself. Gay, how are you doing, Gay? Bless up yourself. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for coming. Doris, what's up? How are you doing? Let us continue. Verse 48. Mine eye runneth down with rivers of water for the destruction of the daughter of my people. Mine eye trickleth down and ceaseth not without any intermission, till the Lord look down and behold from heaven. Mine eye affected mine heart because of all the daughters of my city. Mine enemies chased me sore like a bird without cause. They have cut off my life in the dungeon and cast a stone upon me. Waters flowed over my head. Then I said, I am cut off. I called upon thy name, O Lord, out of the low dungeon. Now here he's talking about him having called out to the Lord. Remember when they threw him in the dungeon in Johanan's house? And Zedekiah sent to get him out of the dungeon? If you all remember that. And he came out of the dungeon, went to Zedekiah the king, had conversations with Zedekiah, and later on, when the Babylonians came up, they took Zedekiah and plucked out his eyes and took him captive into Babylon. But Jeremiah was instead given great victuals and gifts from Nebuchadnezzar. I saw. Now he's talking about it. Now he's presenting it to the Lord. He says, my eyes trickled down and ceased not without any intermission, till the Lord looked down and behold from heaven. Mine eye affects my heart because of all the daughters of my city. Mine enemies chase me sore like a bird without cause. They have cut off my life in the dungeon and cast a stone upon me. Waters flowed over my head. Then I said, I am cut off. I called upon thy name, O Lord, out of the low dungeon. Thou hast heard my voice. Hide Hide not thine ear at my breathing, at my cry. Thou drewest near in the day that I called upon thee. Hold on. Thou hast heard my voice. Hide not thine ear at my breathing, at my cry. Thou drewest near in the day that I called upon thee. Thou saidst, Fear not. O Lord, thou hast pleaded the causes of my soul. Thou hast redeemed my life. O Lord, thou hast seen my wrong. Judge thou my cause. Ha ha! What wrong is Jeremiah talking about, guys? He says to the Lord, You have seen my wrong. Judge thou my cause. What wrong is Jeremiah talking about that the Lord has seen? And he's asking the Lord to judge his cause. Thou hast seen all their vengeance and all their imaginations against me. Thou hast heard their reproach, O Lord, and all their imaginations against me. The lips of those that rose up against me, and their device against me all the day. Behold, they're sitting down and they're rising up. I am their music. Render unto them a recompense, O Lord, according to the work of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart. Thy curse be upon them. Verse 66, and this is the last verse of Lamentation chapter 3. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of the Lord. Who Jeremiah called down death and destruction pan again? Who Jeremiah calling down death and destruction on again? The few little remnants of the Jewish people that are left in Israel that really have nothing to do with him. Because, of course, the people seem to be seeing what I am seeing out of Jeremiah. Same as how I can see that he's a fraud, I believe that's the same way the people saw that he was a fraud. And that is why the people were against him. Now he's calling to the Lord to say all the people who are against him, he's asking the Lord to destroy them. And he's asking the Lord to forgive him for what he has done wrong. What has he done wrong? That is the question. Is he going to tell us what he did wrong, or am I going to stay with my speculations based on the context of what I have read? Boss Twin, what's up? Yeah, based on what I have read in the book of Jeremiah, that Jeremiah, to me, was a fraud. He was not speaking on behalf of the Jewish people. Everything that he said, that is God told him. Everything that he said, God told him. I don't believe any God told Jeremiah anything. When it comes to all I am wickedness, that is exactly what he's worried about. That is exactly the wrongs that he's talking about, that he wants forgiveness for. You understand? He said when the Jewish people called to God, God wrap up himself in a cloud so that their prayers don't come through to him. So, Britta, look at that, what he's doing right here. As though he's calling on God, he wants he is seeking repentance. It seems as though to me he's seeking repentance. He's remembering when he was thrown into the dungeon and saying that it was his cries to God that had caused. It was his cries to God that had caused Nebuchadnezzar to tell Zedekiah to send and take him out of the dungeon. Because remember, the king Joachim had thrown him in the dungeon in Joanna's house. They had started to flood the dungeon with water in an effort to drown him. And then Nebuchadnezzar sent to Zedekiah to go send for Jeremiah out of the pit. And they brought him to Zedekiah. Okay? And in the end, that Jeremiah stood right there and watched them pluck out Zedekiah's eye and take him away. And Jeremiah didn't even speak up for Zedekiah against Nebuchadnezzar. There, nowhere in the reading have I seen Jeremiah stand up to Nebuchadnezzar. If Jeremiah claimed to have been such a great prophet, a prophet that was favored by the Lord, a prophet who could communicate with the Lord without fear of anybody interfering, how come we have not read that Jeremiah spoke upon behalf of the Jewish people to Nebuchadnezzar? How comes? Y'all ever wonder about that? So, well, since he claimed to have been able to communicate directly with the Lord, since he claimed to have been at the Lord's right hand, and he claimed, here he's lamenting in the Lamentations, he's lamenting for his people. He's crying for his people, but he's justifying their destruction to say because they have been so unholy and been doing things against what they were taught. So he's justifying, yes, and that's why their God destroyed them. And that's why their God destroyed them. But him not facing the destruction. Instead, he got favors from Nebuchadnezzar. How come? How come? How come we don't hear him talking to Nebuchadnezzar in favor of the Jewish people? Instead, all we hear from him is preaching death and destruction at the hands of Nebuchadnezzar. And then now in the Lamentations, he's going to start his crocodile tears, crying and saying, oh, Israel has become a mockery. Israel has become a mockery. When the enemies pass by, they shake their heads and laugh at us and laugh what kind of God we are serving when our God can cause the enemy to destroy our cities and slay our people. We have become a mockery to everybody around us who is not serving the God that we are serving, because it seems as though their God is protecting them. They are still able to divide and conquer. And for us who are serving our God, it seems like our God is just bestowing pure death and destruction upon us. And here he is with his crocodile tears, crying and claiming to have done something wrong. Claiming to have done something wrong. But him not tell us what it is. He says, O Lord, thou hast seen my wrong. Judge thou my cause. And this is from Lamentations chapter 59. Lamentations chapter 3 and verse 59. Jeremiah says, O Lord, thou hast seen my wrong. Judge thou my cause. Thou hast seen all their vengeance and all their imagination against me. Thou hast heard their reproach, O Lord, and all their imaginations against me. The lips of those that rose up against me, and their device against me all the day. Behold, they're sitting down, and they're rising up. I am their music. Render unto them a recompense, O Lord, according to the word of their hands. Give them sorrow of heart, thy curse upon them. Persecute and destroy them in anger from under the heavens of the Lord. So the little remnant of Jewish people that's left in Israel, he is now calling down vengeance upon them from the Lord, because after all, even the few people that are left still don't want to have nothing to do with Jeremiah. So here he is calling down vengeance on them. All right. Winsome said, "Makaka did." No, sir, I call her since morning. Not yet. Not yet. We will talk later for sure. So, guys, there you have it. The book of the Lamentations of Jeremiah, chapters 1 through 3. When we come back tomorrow, Wednesday, we will read chapters 4 and 5, and that will be the end of the book of the Lamentation. The Lamentations only has 5 chapters. Only has 5 chapters. So this is a short one. Then we are going to move on to Ezekiel. All right. So I want to say, Dana, welcome everybody. I want to say thanks to you all, Shady, Danita. Thank you all so much for coming into the live. Thank you all so much for those of you who have commented the likes and shared the videos. I sincerely appreciate you, because after all, what I am doing here is not just for me, it is for us. Yeah, it is for us. We have been taught, we have been told what is in the Bible all our lives, and many of us have never spent the time to actually read the Bible for ourselves. So here I am reading the Bible for us. Not here to judge or condemn anybody. We're just not endorsing any religion or any denomination. We're just reading the Bible from a clean slate and deducing from what we are reading what exactly went on back in those days. All right. So that is where we are going to end this morning's reading. Join me again tomorrow morning, round about the same time, same place, here on my channel, Trevessence, Unstoppable TV, and on the top, Trevessence. Join me over here tomorrow morning, same time, same place, when we continue with the reading of the Bible. Until next time, my friends, this is a Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. Have yourselves a great day, everybody. See you all later. Have a good one, guys. Bobby Drakes, why is my life still living? Why is it? I'm getting off now. I got some other things to take care of, but the live is not going off. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, guys. I'm gone. I'll see you all tomorrow.